Today's NEC big game in the Winfield Cup comes from north of the harbour, down on the peninsula, where at Brookvale Oval we see home team Manly Warringah take on the St. George Dragons. Manly coach Bob Fulton has his team in 5th position on 23 points, and Roy Masters has St. George in 2nd spot on 29. When they met in the first round of the SCG, it was St. George, 20 points to 16, the victors. The Manly team today is Shearer at fullback, Bowstead and Davis the wings, Close and Lulawai the centres. Cleal, by the way, has gone to the second row, as you can see. Melrose, Hasler, Vaughton, McCabe, Glenn Ryan pulled out just before kick-off, Paulson, Cochrane and Daly. The Saints team, almost the same as last weekend. Burgess, Kinchella, O'Connor, Beattie Johns, Linane, Haddock, Wynn, Fafita, Noak, Craig Young, Phil Ritchie and Pat Jarvis. The referee for today is Greg McCallum. Manly running towards the Pittwater Road end of the ground, the breeze at their backs. And this is Johns who gets the first touch of the ball for the St. George side. Driven to the ground by Hasler and Vaughton. With Mike O'Connor. Haddock. John Fafita. Holding down the second row job. Jarvis. Through Haddock, it's in the arms of Billy Noak now, and Cleal in that second row position, making the tackle with McCabe. Haddock spearing the kick off for the touchline, finding it nicely. Now the scrum will go down about 9 metres on the Eagle side of halfway. Craig Young, St. George captain, backing down into the engine room there. Ritchie's his hooker today, replacing Townsend. Had a big game last weekend, Craig Young. And oh dear, that was a blatant second row feed by Hasler. It was allowed to go by McCallum, but we'll check him on the consistency gauge later. Here's Close now. Close plays the ball. Vaughton holding it back and then giving a ball to James Lulawai. It was forward. That's a good ruling by the referee. There was only a fraction in it, but I agree with the ref. See it again. The NEC replay. No question, my book, that it was forward fractionally. Well, Manly have got many, many supporters, some of them well known, but none better than Malcolm Johnston. He's on the sidelines with Graeme Hughes.
Malcolm, this would be somewhat of a fleeting visit, I would say.
Yes, it is, Graeme. There's a bit of a lull at the moment over in Singapore, and I'm just back for a week and a half. I go back next Tuesday, and which will be my last visit over there. I'll probably only stay 2 months, and then I'll be home.
Back for a Manly victory. Back
for a Manly victory, yes. I think Manly are in a situation where they must win. They've been in a bit of a lull. I think they can win today, and I hope they can. It'll be a long trip for nothing if they get beat, Graeme.
Well, let's hope it's not too much longer before we see you again.
Thanks, mate. It won't be long. Guaranteed.
Ooh, shaky take there by Dale Shearer. He's in the fullback position today. He's been getting some instruction from Graham Eadie on how to take the ball. I don't think Graham taught him that way. A penalty goes to Manly, though. Takes the pressure off them out on the 32-metre line. There's the minor grades, 23s to the Saints, reserves to the Saints. They're really flying high, the Dragons. Melrose taking the line finder. Always great to hear and see Malcolm Johnston, one of Australia's great sportsmen. And the sooner he gets back to where he should be, working out of Australia, the better. This is Richie Paulson, up to the 32, strong customer. And Manly will lose nothing in cast or ability with Paulson packing down against Jarvis and Young. Hasler turning it back for McCabe. Midway 22 halfway. Saints into the ground. No score. You're watching the NEC big game, and taking it ahead is Tony Melrose, that left knee with an elastic bandage on it. A little bit of indecision there, I thought, as Cochrane is tackled just outside the quarter. 5 tackles have gone now for Manly. The bomb's coming, I would think, from Melrose. Very deep. The Manly chase is not all that extravagant, let me tell you. And Burgess in the in goal. Melrose has to do his own work. That's a bad chase by Manly. I think Bob Fulton would agree, and I'm sure this man will. Bill Anderson.
Yes, it was a bad chase. Melrose, obviously from a standing position when he put up the kick, was the first man through to make the tackle.
So Bill's tipping Manly to win.
Well, I am. I think that St. George have been winning without playing all that great, whereas Manly have been playing fairly well, but haven't been coming up with the 2 points, and I think they can square that account today.
Well, Dale Shearer's had a shaky start, to say the least. Twice he's been kicked the ball, and twice he's fumbled it. He didn't knock on, but I'll tell you what, he's giving some Manly supporters heart attacks here in the grandstand, and then, as you saw, he had it stolen from him by John Fafita, which brings us back to this point with St. George with the football, and really Manly should still have it. Richie across to Haddock and now to Young. Young to the halfway. Fafita nearly put it down. It was a good tackle by Cochrane. Play just into Manly's area. Played back to Graeme Wynn, and he turns it to the blind for Jarvis. Nobody wants to run with any enthusiasm, and O'Connor pays the penalty for that. Graeme, Bill's going for Manly. I'm going for Saints. Which way are you?
Well, I'm going with Bill, Ray. I haven't been impressed with St. George in the past fortnight. I didn't think their form against Canterbury was all that convincing. For St. George today, it's just another premiership match, but for Manly Warringah, it's a grand final. I like a side when they're desperate.
All right, there it is. Through Lenane. Beautifully taken by O'Connor, and Wharton's there to wrap him up with Hasler. Jarvis. Good ball by Jarvis. He had plenty of treatment put down on him. Ritchie has given the pass to Burgess. Burgess has made a long run for the Saints. 33 metres away from the Manly line. To the open side for Young to distribute through to Lenane, and now to Beattie. He has Wynn on his outside. On the inside, Jarvis gets the ball, however. This man is Noken. Now it's out to Burgess. Burgess throws out the fend. Vorton's got him tapped, though. Just outside the Manly 22-metre point. Across the ground to the right for Young again to hit it up and looking to turn it back. On the inside, he couldn't. It went to Fafita. No knock on, and Fafita's tackled. 5 gone for the Dragons. Now it's their turn to go to the air. But it's a penalty for St. George against Paul McCabe for stealing the ball. Well, that, if the penalty has justly been given, is a stupid mistake for Paul to make. Right in front of the sticks, and O'Connor, as you know, is a sharpshooter of a goal kicker. Wallaby International. And he kicks the goal so easily. 2 points to 0. St. George leading Manly. Melrose. A big drop kick. Crossing the halfway line on the fall. Kim Challis. Well, he's ruled it came off the knees. Well, the crowd echoing the sentiments of everyone here at the ground. Billy Noak tackled on the 22. Saints luckily back on the attack. Young. Oh, he's got it away for Jarvis. Dale Shearer's tackled him, but he's over the line. He can't get it down. He's back in the field of play. Ritchie's the dummy half. Haddock cuts out for Feeder. Lenane to Wynn. Wynn is he's up again, Wynn, but he's 2 metres out from the line. He can see the line, but he can't reach it. He taps it ahead. That's a try. That's a try. Scored under controversial circumstances. St. George scoring adjacent to the uprights. So Graeme Wynn simply tapped the ball ahead. Downward pressure, scores the try.
Some good alert thinking here by Graeme Wynn. The Manly players were far too loose around the play. The ball towed it ahead and just did the rest himself.
Graeme Wynn, the try scorer for the Saints. So O'Connor, 12 metres out from right in front, adds the extras, and St. George are leading now by 8 points to 0 over Manly. Here's Jarvis now, reaching the halfway. Studying concentration and absolute gut effort is Pat Jarvis. Every time he touches the ball, he strains for every centimetre of grass that he can go over. Beattie standing, nobody cleaning him up. Melrose was around the legs, but nobody coming over the top. Lenane puts up the midfield bomb very high. Shearer goes in with Burgess. Shearer came out with the ball. Good take by Dale Shearer. Vorton. Luluai picked off by Johns. Just a matter of 3 minutes to the break. This is Richie Paulson. Hasler's got the ball.
Manly have been making themselves easy targets for the St. George defence. They haven't been bringing the ball up hard. They haven't been coming from deep, and there's been extremely little enthusiasm in their running. I'm sure that Bob Fulton can hardly wait for half-time so that he can get to them and try and correct these problems.
This is McCabe. Well, of course, this match, it's a vital one for Manly. Charged down by Fafita, picked up by Shearer. Manly could well find themselves out of the 5 with a loss here to St. George today.
It's almost amazing that a team with so much at stake can be playing as if they're so tired.
Penalty to Manly now. Touch judge has gone on to bring on Steve Funnell. The funny part about it, the touch judge went out and Funnell didn't go with him. Now Funnell has said, I'm not going on. The touch judge has gone to the referee and said it's 23 on Funnell, but now St. George want to cancel it. Now St. George want it cancelled. I think he'll make him go on. Graeme, how do you see it?
Well, Roy Marson had called Funnell back to the sideline saying leave Billy Noak there till half-time, we'll do another check, but the touch judge, of course, had other ideas.
Well,
they've ruled correctly here, Ray, because Funnell had gone about 15 yards onto the field of play at that stage with the touch judge.
Dale Shearer's failed to find touch. Beautiful take by Michael Beattie. Across the ground he goes. Have a look at this take by Beattie. Beautiful stuff.
And once again, Manly come up with a mistake. They're committing just about every football sin you can make.
Here's Funnell now. I think from memory he made his debut at Cogra, and I think he scored 2 tries that day. This is Jarvis. I'm talking about 1984. They got a heap of depth from George. Here's Craig Young. And that's one of the reasons I believe, and I'm not sure who their opponents will be, but I think they'll be there on grand final day, this red and white side. They'll be very much getting the feel of the Sydney Cricket Ground a little bit earlier than it becomes home base. My opinion anyway. Here's Shearer coming back. A shaky start, but he's rounded off the first half nicely. Graham Wynn tackled by Shearer. He put plenty of stick into the tackle. And here's Kinchella tackled by Bowstead. Funnell on the blind side. Tackler was Pocock. Whoops. Well, he's sick, this man, Steve Funnell. Well, there he is trying to get up, Steve Funnell, and he's obviously concussed. Oh, what a sight. This was the tackle. It didn't look too bad. He was wrestling with them.
His head came into contact with Noel Cleel's knee.
It's a fair bit of knee to come in contact with, isn't it? He's okay, thank God. This is Jarvis, just short passing away to Fafita. Let's have a look at Funnell. He's back there shaking his head. It's gone back for Mike Beattie. He's gone for a drop kick. They're offside, these St. George players, in my opinion. Shearer's got the ball over the dead ball line. It's a penalty. McCallum has ruled them offside in front of the kicker, meaning that they had to remain 5 metres away from Shearer. And so it's a penalty for the Eagles. The siren has sounded. Melrose finding it. Sun again beaming down. A strange weather pattern in Sydney today. Parts of it basking in sunshine, others shrouded in a cloud film. As Haddock is thumped to the ground by Cleo, and Haddock got up and gave him one for his corner. Talk about David and Goliath. Saints 8, Manly nothing. Yes, Graeme.
Well, Ray, last week against Canterbury Bankstown, we saw St. George lose a lot of ball in possession. Today, that disease has spread to Manly Warringah. The scoreline reads 8-0 in favour of the Saints. The match may not be over, and whoever controls possession best in this second half should be 2 points richer.
to Brookvale for the second half of the big game. Manly's tackle count 131. Vaughton has made 17 to lead that count. The Dragons, they look like this. 14 for Jarvis, required to make a total of 100. $8-0 in favour of St. George, the visitors. Manly have had the ball for 65 tackles. Saints, 91. And if you were to do a time and motion study on most games of rugby league, you'd find that to be a vital statistic. The team holding the ball for the longer periods of time, you'll normally find get the 2 premiership points. Although Arthur Beetson might disagree with that tonight. Bad luck, Artie. Manly running into the sunshine. And there's a penalty going to the Eagles. Saints inside the 5. Referee saying to Graeme Wynn, have a look at me. Just have a look at me. And that's where the mark is. Melrose to kick. I wonder what Bobby Fulton said to them at halftime. I don't know that it would have been fit for broadcast. Pocock. Oh, he's lost it. It's gone out the back door. Bosted's got it. Here's Paulson coming across the ground. Seems to be an amazing amount of indecision with the dummy half. And I'm not blaming Mal Cochrane, but it looks like either nobody wants to run or somebody has read the wrong script. 3 or 4 times Cochrane has stood there and said, who gets it now? Who wants it? Manly coming up with the ball, but that means that we're going to have a scrum.
The scrum was put down on the spot where Tony Melrose made the knock on, so obviously Greg McCallum was going to play any prior infringements on, and he's gone back to the last one.
Incidentally, I told you that Des Hasler and Steve Linnane are very high in Dally M points. Hasler 65, Linnane 64. In this match, Craig Young has got 40, Glenn Burgess 38, Tony Melrose 33. Saints winning the scrum. Haddock arrested there by Hasler. His win. Dragging Hasler with one arm as he made a couple of more metres. This is Jarvis. Fafita looking for runners, finding big Graeme Wynn. Infield for Perry Haddock. Haddock's away from a fragile tackle by Kerry Bosted. Very much unlike Kerry Bosted. Played back to Ritchie, through to Linnane, now O'Connor. Burgess has put it down. So the scrum going down on the Manly 22. Earlier today, Manly, between the reserves finishing and the first starting, had their annual Golden Oldies match. And a penalty to Saints. Well, he hasn't penalised him for a second row feed. He's got him for not feeding it in along the ground with a downward motion, I think he was indicating, really. But I put it to you that McCallum has let the scrum feeding go quite obviously right through the first half, and it's a bit silly starting to blow the whistle on it now. Ritchie taking the tap. Young back to Ritchie, around the back door for Jarvis. And now they're spread wide and deep to the left. That's the way it's going. To Linnane, the run around on Beattie, and Beattie has tackled. His win. He's played strongly today, Graeme. A few metres from the line. The push is on back for Craig Young. The big man is over the line. Unstoppable for Matt Close. And Craig Young scores for St. George. Certainly nothing controversial about this one. It simply was a case of stretching the football to the left of the ground and then bringing it back for big Craig Young to come off a pivot and score such a simple try.
Well, this is purely the result of bad defence. Craig Young busted through some terrible tackling. He saw the line in front of him and went for it.
So Richie Paulson was the first culprit to miss him, and then he took Hasler and Lulawai over the line with him. Looking good. Hits the upright and bounces away. No change. Saints 12. Manly 0. Lenane. Cut out ball. Beautifully executed. Win to O'Connor. Inside the 22 line. Steps off his left. Coming right across the park. He might even score. No, he's a metre short. Wynn is down injured in back play. An incident that I did not see. Johns sweeps the ball to Lenane. Long ball out to Kinchela. Kinchela's tackled inches inside the touchline. And it's the turnover. Wynn is still down injured in the back play. And obviously he must have taken a legal hit. Touch judges haven't moved, and they've had that opportunity now. Did you see anything, Bill?
No, I didn't, but the area that he was looking at initially was his ankle, and I don't know if that's the problem or not.
Melrose. McCabe. Graeme Wynn back on his feet. Paulson. Put down, picked up by Lenane. And Lenane will play the ball on the Manly 22. Dummy Harper's haddock. Funnel goes ahead. The final scoreline here, the way Manly are playing at the moment, it could be anything for St. George. It's a bleak scene, really, from a Manly viewpoint. Oh, Kinchela came onto that ball from Craig Young at a cracking pace. Good tackle stopped him from young Cochrane. And here's Fafita hitting it towards the line but losing it. And Shearer has it for Manly. Only 12-0 the score at the moment, but Manly are going to have to perform a miracle if they're going to turn the trend of this match around. McCabe. Paulson. He's lost it. Well, they don't show any respect for the ball. Beattie inside for Lenane. Play on, says the referee. No forward pass. This is Haddock. And what's he done here? Has he ruled a forward pass? He must have. Manly's missed 8 tackles, vital tackles in the last 10. Hasler. Tackle just inside the 22. Manly getting a replacement ready, Graeme. Darren Rogers, is it? Graeme?
Darren Rogers in 16, Ray. He's obviously getting the mail now via the phone from Bobby Thornton, who he's on for.
Okay. Close. Ooh. Little Perry Haddock went around the legs. And Fafita came over the top, and Close is nursing his head. But Manly go down the ground. Davis has knocked it on. A kick by Cochrane. The regather. And then the long ball. So that was a nice exhibition of football there from young Cochrane. McCabe is off and Rogers has gone on. Well, Close has gone into the second row. Manly coming up with the ball. Shearer. Long ball, Lulawai. Boosted! Rogers. The crowd go back to their seats. A chance for Manly. Melrose. Cleal. Oh, was the tackle high?
There's no doubt it was a high tackle.
Cleal is down. The referee says play on. still down. Haddock. Win now. Boasted. Cleal is back on his feet.
Just.
Kinsella. I can't see any way that Roy Masters can put this lad back into the reserves. He's done some very strong running in the recent St. George matches. Webb Telecast looking for Fafita. Inside 32, up to the 22, leaves passing the ball a touch late, and Cochrane comes away for Manly. Darren Rogers.
Fafita did everything right then. He made the initial split, got held in the tackle, but in the final pass there was just a little bit of inexperience. I'm sure Roy Masters would have preferred him to have gone to ground and got up and played the ball quickly.
Jarvis coming over the top there with Haddock underneath. Vaughton. Melrose. Rogers. What's the tackle readout on Pat Jarvis, would you please, Warwick? He, to me, has been doing an absolute mountain of work out there for the Saints. Boasted tackled on 5. 25 for Pat Jarvis. Paulson holding it back. Oh, fair dinkum. St. George coming away with the ball. The intention may have been fine, but the execution was pretty ordinary. Ordinary, disastrous. This is Ritchie now. Haddock. Young. Play in the centre of the ground, a few metres away from the Manly 22. Still 12-0. It's not impossible for Manly yet. But there hasn't been enough indication from them that they're going to turn it around. Here's a drop goal attempt by Mike O'Connor. It's got the length. It's gone beautifully over the crossbar between the uprights. An easy one-pointer for Mike O'Connor. 13 points to 0. And right there, I think you can definitely say that is the ball game. A very valuable one-pointer. Johns up to the 22, holding the tackler at bay, getting the pass to Beattie, to O'Connor. O'Connor goes in to score. Wide out for the Dragons. Well, Chris Johns was the man who did the damage. It was simply a case of less than total commitment in defence here. Watch him, Johns. He got through Melrose, but then he holds a player at bay here. This fellow going high, Darren Rogers. And then he got a one-handed ball away. Beattie gave a sweeping pass onto Mike O'Connor. And look at the international centre fly for the corner.
A try that could have been stopped on a number of occasions. The most likely was here when Luluai came over the top in a ball and all effort to stop it, but he didn't stop the progress of the ball. John skipped through. He went through another tackle by the fullback, and then Rogers couldn't hold him effectively. The ball was thrown over the top by Beattie. O'Connor here saw the line in front of him, and he's got plenty of pace. There was no way the cover defence was going to get to him.
So St. George, their goal kicker Mike O'Connor, scoring the try, and now he's got the job of conversion from on the touchline and on the 22. 17-0 in favour of St. George. One hell of a belting they've given Manly. O'Connor's kick has got the height. It's coming around, but it's wide. So no change to the NEC big game score. St. George 17, Manly nothing. Graeme, another change.
Marty Gurr in 14 on the sideline, waiting to replace Tony Melrose, who was hobbling with a knee injury before half-time. Ray, I think there's quite a few of these Manly guys that might have been carrying injuries, but we might read about it during the week. But these guys have elected to play, and they've got to suffer the consequences.
Haddock. Win. He's put it downwind. So Marty Gurr goes on. Tony Melrose is coming from the field. Now, what are they doing with Dale Shearer? They're moving James Lulawai into 5/8, Shearer to the centres, and Gurr to full back. Missed tackles, 24 for Manly, 14 for St. George. So if you happen to be passing by Brookvale and you just came into the ground, the side that's on there for Manly now hasn't got anything like a similarity to the team that took the field originally. Close in the second row, Rogers in the centres, Callum has gone on, Pocock was on and came off. Changes galore. This is Callum now. Shearer started at fullback. He's in the centres. Here's Paulson. Getting a ball away there for Des Hasler. Vorton. Lulawai. Marty Gurr. Close. Close. He's over. Good, strong dummy half run by Close. He left 3 of them in his wake. Took a couple over the line with him. And he's left some St. George players wounded as a result of this barnstorming run by big Chris Close. There was a great urgency about it, and he got the reward of a try for Manly.
Well, I would think here St. George had decided they were going to close up shop for the afternoon. They had done enough to win the match. They went to sleep and suffered the consequences.
So Chris Close was moved from centre to forwards when Rogers came on, and a good strong run by him, suggesting that if Bobby Fulton needs to use the same ploy again, then it might be just fine. No worries for Cochrane. 17-6 now is the fresh scoreline on the NEC scoreboard. Mike O'Connor sending it deep into the corner where Davis was. He's made a mess of it. Metres away from his line. It's Close again from dummy half. A gain of about 7 metres. Cochrane straightening after make. He's made a complete break. Good run by Cochrane. Here comes his winger, but the winger's overrun him. Cochrane to play the ball. Cleo goes from dummy half. The Eagles have got a roll on. Cleo passes. Cochrane can't take it. Pat Jarvis with the ball for Saints. Chris Close. This was Cochrane making the run down the sideline. Big step off his left foot. He's a good young player, this fellow. Ritchie. This is Johns. Haddock, Lenane, cuts out Beattie, Graeme Wynn. Gray's got it! Magic take by Graeme Wynn. There was a fair bit of luck in it. He's still going, the big fellow. Now Lenane backs him up and he's tackled just outside the 22. Well, if they're looking for a juggling act over there at St. George, Wynn might be the boy for the job. Craig Young to play it, 20 metres out from the line. Last tackle, Perry Haddock puts up the bomb off the left foot. The runners are all there. Up they go, raked over the dead ball line, but it's a penalty to Manly. Players offside for St. George. 17-6 to the Saints. There it is, the NEC replay. Players definitely in front of the kicker. So Dale Shearer finds the line. About 7 metres inside the 22. Cullum. Hasler. Vorton. Luluai. Rogers. Put down by Shearer. And the referee will play the knock on. Lane is down injured, and that's the reason you'll find that Graeme Wynne has gone to ground. I'll take a punt and say there's nothing wrong with Graeme, but he realised his halfback was down injured, and Linane has been clutching at his right leg. They've called for the stretcher, I think, for Linane, have they? No. But the trainer indicated that he should be taken off. Haddock pointing to the bench that Linane should be replaced. Linane has left the field on the far side of the ground, and number 19 has gone on for them.
Mark Cannon.
Mark Cannon's gone on. Here's Jarvis hitting it up to a point just outside the 22. Match in the last 5 minutes. Ritchie from dummy half, still going to within 2 metres of the line. Funnel, Haddock, crunched by Chris Place. 5 tackles gone now for St. George, leading by 17-6. Funnel puts up the kick. Right back down for St. George to come away with possession. Craig Young has got it. Throws the long ball out to Graeme Wynne. They've got the numbers. They should score. Kim Cheller has to kick back infield. Wynn's chasing it. So too is Perry Haddock. And Perry Haddock has picked up the try. Perry Haddock scores the try. An embracing pose from Beattie and Haddock. It went down. Now, Jarvis soccerooed it back. Young then got a pass away as he was speared into the ground. Wynne got into the action. So did Beattie. A cutout ball for Kinchella to kick. And let's watch it now from here on in. Wynne came through desperately, and little Perry Haddock got right underneath him, and Wynne said, Wynne could have been saying, "You little rat, that was my try, and you pinched it off me."
This was a try that came out of absolutely nothing. It was scrappy ball. St. George simply kept it alive. Finally, the kick was put up. There was nothing on, but Manly just weren't interested, and that was the reason why Haddock had the opportunity to come back and touch down.
So there he is, one of the hardest working little men in the game, Perry Haddock. And Mike O'Connor converts. So St. George 23, Manly 6. And the siren must be only a matter of seconds away. So badly has Manly played, one must look on the positive side for St. George, and they can play better than this. But they appear to me as an awesome sight on the run into the semi-finals. Depth, miles of depth, and some very classy players right across the ground. There's the siren, a merciful ending for Manly, and probably that's the best thing that I can say for them at the moment. Bobby Fulton will be glad that it's over as he goes back to the drawing table, or the drawing board. 23-6 in favour of the Dragons. Wynne, Young, O'Connor, Haddock tries. O'Connor 3 goals and a drop goal, so he got in for plenty of the spoils, Mike O'Connor. Close to try for Manly, Cochrane the goal.
Phil, the Saints keep saving their best for the second half, it seems.
Yeah, well, I think we played particularly well today, both halves. But we seem to get in our rhythm in the second half, and really enjoyed our game today.
I thought the feature or the difference between the two sides was merely the support. Somebody would make a break in St. George, and there was always somebody in the inside and, of course, on the outside.
Yeah, we backed up well today. I think that was the key to our game. Yeah.
So well played.
Thank you.
Here at Brookvale Oval, today's man of the match is the St. George front row forward, Pat Jarvis. Congratulations, Pat. How important was that 2 points for you?
Oh, very important, Bill. We're still holding second spot with right behind Balmain with the bye to come up. And if we can come out and beat Balmain when we meet them in a couple of weeks' time, well, that should put us on top.
Have St. George still got improvement left in them before the semi-finals?
I think so. I think our commitment came up a hell of a lot today from the players and playing more as a team. And I think we've got quite a way to go before we're at 100%. And well, with the semi-finals and the grand final ahead of us, I think we'll reach that point in a short period of time.
Well, for taking today's Man of the Match award, you'll of course receive the NEC Game Ball trophy, but also a cheque for $500 from NEC.
Oh, that's terrific, Bill. I'd like to thank NEC. That's wonderful. I really appreciate it. It's the first time I've won this sort of award, and it really is terrific.
Bob, of course, taking into consideration the bye situation, the Sea Eagles now out of the 5.
No, we're still in the 5. We're only out of the 5 if we lose on that particular day that the teams that haven't had the bye when they get it. So,
how about, will you agree with this one? The fact that Manly has slipped from that top 3 only a few weeks ago, that seemed to be in line with the fact that they're very heavy representative schedule.
Well, we weren't in the first 3, Graeme, so I won't agree with you. If we would have won the bulk of our games when the representative players came back, we could have got in the top 3. Our form over the last month has been very good. Our form today was very ordinary. So if we continue to play like we played today, we won't get in the 5. If we played like we did over the last month, we will.
So the hard-working Pat Jarvis, man of the match. Let's have a look now at the results of other matches played. Yesterday, we remember Eastern Suburbs unluckily going down to the Tigers by 7 points to 6. Canterbury 24, Illawarra 4 today. Cronulla 26, Parramatta 18. St. George 23, Manly 6. And Penrith and North's a 22-all draw. That 1 point now puts the Panthers level in 5th position with Manly. And here's a try coming out of the match, scored by North Sydney 13 minutes into the game. It was Cliff Lyons to Steve Robinson, Paul Conlon, and then Nigel Tate, the big centre 3-quarter, scored for the Bears. So let's have a look now at the premiership table. Balmain 32, Saints 31, Parramatta 28. Canterbury edging a touch closer to the top 3 on 26. A gap then to Manly and Penrith 23. And as you can see, Cronulla and East are certainly not gone yet. And a win tomorrow night for Canberra would see them just 2 points out of the 5. And then it's Souths, Norths, Wests and Illawarra. Well, next week it's St. George, Eastern Suburbs, Illawarra, Manly, Canberra, Canterbury, Parramatta, Wests, Norths, Cronulla, Souths and Penrith. And the Tigers have a well-earned bye. From Brookvale, I'm Ray Second.